Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring a 1 vs 1 on Langres. This should be a pretty interesting, a pretty fun fight. It shall be featuring HelpingHans of the Panzer Elite fighting for the 12th SS. Opposing them, let's say 12th. Opposing them shall be AsiiDemolitionJeep, aka Symbiosis, if I'm not mistaken, a recent tournament winner, in fact. Fighting for the Commonwealth, fighting for the 11th Armoured Division. Huzzah. And already we can sort of see what's being secured. The high munitions point, again, that's probably where Symbiosis or AsiiDemolitionJeep will be taking up positions initially, and could probably also be an indicator that initially he will be going rather heavy on the infantry. Hans, on the other hand, standing out with a dual Kettenkrad stand, of course, and cheeky Hans, he's going in to nullify the securing of the point. This is a really nasty little thing that Panzer Elite players can do, although the Kettenkrad does take an awful lot of damage, and of course something Hans do to, of course, delay anything the British player can do from the beginning, and certainly forces him to get more infantry first out. And of course Hans will be busy securing, and he probably might even be sending in the other Kettenkrad to sort of begin and then doing that thing all over again. That nasty little bugger. There we go, almost done. Kettenkrad rolling in. And there we go. Doesn't even take any damage this time around. Hans, you bastard. And there we go, Panzergrenadiers arriving. Going to add to the vexation of AsiiDemolitionJeep, though he's quickly taking up position inside the house, firing down on the Panzergrenadiers, but also the Kettenkrad. But bastard Hans, quickly moving his two Panzergrenadier squads eastwards, might be trying to hook about the Bukaj and hit him in the flank while the Recce section moves in from another angle. No, what could this be? He might be trying to go for the cutoff point, trying to achieve something similar to what Hans just did to him. That is not necessarily... Kettenkrad got spotted, damaged engine, infantry section with the lieutenant, could be going in for the kill. Panzergrenadiers are moving in at the same time, lieutenant moving in to finish off the job with a Sten gun, while at the same time going for the cutoff point there. And with that done, the infantry reconnaissance section could aid the infantry section, and they are in fact moving in. Kettenkrad still getting handed down with the lieutenant. Lieutenant Jones blasting away with the Sten gun, hoping to light the little bastard off to his final trip. Very close. Reloading, and will he get it? Yes, indeed. The lieutenant gets the Kettenkrad, and a Bren carrier arrives. Victory for King George's men right there. Panzergrenadiers running off. Kettenkrad down. And soon Hans will not have access to his fuel right here. In fact, he won't have access to anything but this tiny little munitions, which means that Symbiosis has now secured this, will actually be getting more fuel than Hans. So that was a bit of an unfortunate mistake right there by Hans and the 12th SS. They had other plans in mind. Sadly, there was no cup of tea to be found here. Quickly digging down a trench to ensure that this won't work out for little Hans, who's left with only one Kettenkrad. And there we go, the Panzergrenadiers are pushing forwards. Might be getting some incendiary grenades to try and help dig out the Tommies and turn the trench into a barbecue. Brenker then moving in from the flank. Infantry section taking heavy losses, but they do pop in and thus gain a high amount of protection, in fact, from the Panzergrenadiers. Of course, again, they do decide to pop in some incendiary grenades. And there we go. I missed it. Infantry section down to one man. He does make it out of there. Otherwise, that would have been a huge loss initially to the 11th Armoured and AsiiDemolitionJeep. Point being secured. Recce section and the Brenker still needs munitions, though, to really get something off. Panzergrenadiers trying to secure the point, but a swift British counterattack might ruin that. And there we go, the Brenker charging in, ensuring they cannot finish taking the point. Kettenkrad swiftly getting repaired by one squad of Panzergrenadiers, while the others two are trying to hold off the Tommies. Another incendiary grenade to try and force off the Recce section from the cover, but they're in fact moving in, going straight for the jugular of the Panzergrenadiers. Again, knowing how this is quite important. Again, if they can hold this for as long as possible, they can deny Hans a lot of fuel, a lot of vital resources. What did they... Oh, they pop into the Bren carrier and receive protection right there. Hans's Panzergrenadiers just taking heavy losses, while AsiiDemolitionJeep is not really taking a lot. Although Hans might be using the Kettenkrat to sort of block, ensuring that the Panzergrenadiers can do a lot of damage. Oh dear, 2 squads are in very, very dire trouble. Down to 1 man each, and the other one is down to 2 men. Although the Bren carrier is taking heavy damage, might be an idea to actually pop out and see if you can't get off a recce shot to snipe a squad completely. That would actually work quite nicely. And incendiary grenade finishes off the Bren carrier. Bloody hell. Heavy losses though for Hans, but with the Bren carrier on fire, a toast rack if you will, that's definitely going to buy Hans some time, but already there. No rest for the wicked British as the field support truck moves in, and the other truck is packing up, probably to move to the munitions, while the other one could be going in for the fuel over there. Still holding up there, although this might be the final fight of the recce section before they force retreat. There we go. Still a lot of damage done right there to Hans and the 12th SS Hitlerjugend. Now with another Panzergrenadier squad, points are being secured, trucks are moving out, munitions being secured, and now he's stopping up here at the low fuel, not moving on to the medium fuel. Of course, is his choice and decision. So I might disagree with it a bit, and of course because the truck was packing up, his recce section was forced down here to the beginning. It looks like Hans is actually getting an infantry half-track out to try and help, at least initially, with all the British infantry, but that could also place him at a slight disadvantage. Then again, he might also just decide to go for Panzerschrecks. Then, since he realizes he probably can't get a Panzer support command up. Squad moving up in the west. Pushing in there, and there we go, using the Panzergrenadiers in a half-track. That is a good move. Of course, provides protection for the Panzergrenadiers inside, plus of course mobility and whatnot. But again, the important bit is the half-track takes damage, not the Panzergrenadiers, which of course means you don't have to pay much in terms of overall damage, because again, repairing a half-track is much easier than reinforcing a Panzergrenadier squad with men down. Lieutenant in the house. Panzergrenadiers could get off an incendiary grenade to try and burn him out. Section moves in. There we go. Incendiary grenade just as they pop in. And burning one Brit right away. Forcing the rest out with nasty losses. Sappers are up. Captain on the way. Definitely getting a bit dicey right there. Hans managing a perfectly nice counter-attack. Although quickly resistance is stiffening up behind an old wooden cart. As more infantry sections are lining up. And of course there's still a lieutenant to keep sort of things in a semblance of order. So Hans might be up. There we go, 1 man down. Other retreated back to base. He might need defensive operations to actually heal them, otherwise he might soon be suffering some rather needless losses. Going for the fuel over there. And looks like the Brits are managing a smaller push up here. Only 2 Panzergrenadiers to stop them. Captain is out. Recce section on the hunt for Kettenkrats. And repairing that half-track. But these Panzergrenadiers might want to get out of that. No! Another incendiary grenade. Lighting this little something on fire, but not really doing any damage. And there we go. Piets up could definitely cause a problem for the half-track. Nothing still on the way from the field support truck. There we go. Nice hits on the half-track, taking it almost down to half health. And Hans is quickly shifting, realizing things are much dire right here on in the east. And of course he needs to make a stand, so he makes a stand in the east along the road as a nice dividing line. Plus of course he's actually risking losing his Kettenkrat. Also note he's actually gone for tank destroyer doctrine, since there's actually repair kits on the back, which indicates that again he's gone tank destroyer. Half-track moves in. Recce section on the run. Panzergrenadiers lining up, and there we go. The first Panzerschreck is up. Hans is betting on the Panzerschreck to provide some initial anti-tank firepower for him. 3 men running. The half-track pushes in. 2 men in fact running. Third one down. And there we go. The Stuart light tank is on the wing. Plus he's got a lot of manpower floating about. It would be actually a bit nice if perhaps instead of a mortar emplacement or something else to sort of aid. Reds are pushing forward, but taking some nasty losses. Too many Huns. And let's go look at HelpingHans. With a tank buster squad ready. 5 squads of Panzergrenadiers. That all in all gives 15. Repairing that infantry half-track. Stuart light tank ready. British moving up on the west flank. Demolition Jeep certainly doing nicely, but there we go. Stuart rolls into town. And advance prepares up. This is good, of course. He knows he has to get that since he can't actually now have any Luftwaffe troops to do the repairing. So that means that advanced repair upgrade there is actually very important for him. Stuart takes a nice hit from a Panzergrenadier. Mind you, the Stuart does gain a slight damage reduction against Panzergrenadiers. Half-track gets pelted with Piats. Panzergrenadier down, and Hans laying down some Telemines, but cancels it at the as the Stuart moves forward again, and the British advance in its wake. More sappers moving up. Recce section moving up in the east. Stuart taking some nasty damage right there. Bit of manpower being flooded by Hans and the 12th. Point secured over there. This squad is definitely in need of some healing. And there we go, pushing forwards. Half-track providing some light machine gun fire to keep the Brits at bay. Bit of a standoff situation. Quickly popping into the house with the tank busters. The noose is tightening around Hans's neck. Stuart once more ready. Advancing. Gets hit though by the tank busters in the house. Nice job right there. Does keep the Stuart a bit at bay. And Captain getting spotted right there. We do see defensive operations up now. That's definitely a good move for Hans. Will definitely provide some longer living time for his troops. Stuart quickly taking advantage of things going on here on the western flank to move in. Damage engine on the Kettenkraut. Panzergrenadier squad doing what they can to keep it at bay. But the Stuart does escape without a scratch. Repairs up on, well, expert repairmen on the sapper squad there. I mean, of course, they can repair, in fact, over-repair. Meaning, of course, the armor will be even tougher if that happens. And we are seeing a reinforced point upgraded right there. A forward barracks, if you will. Allowing to heal and, of course, reinforce from this point. Not necessarily a bad idea, but we are seeing a nice defensive operation going up here. Nice swift push by Demolition Jeep, going in with another trench, taking the point, going to force Handtrack to have to attack over there. Again, otherwise he risks, in fact, he now is in fact losing access to all of this over here again, most of his resources. So again, Demolition Jeep putting him the screws on, but we are seeing a mortar half-track going in to help with this, while at the same time we are seeing the beginnings of a larger assault. Bren gun is now hiding in the trench, going to make an assault, in fact, much difficult. Panzergrenadier down. Waiting for that mortar half-track to probably lay down some incendiary rounds on the trench. Half-track takes a bit of damage, but there we go. The assault commences. Mortar support will soon be ready. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Caught while repairing. If he gets a cancer shot off right there.
Unit down.
Oh dear, that's just 2 squads of Panzergrenadiers, including the tank buster squad. Oh, what a mess, but there we go, incendiary rounds. Collapsing the position right there. Hans a bit upset. Panzergrenadiers catching on fire. Point being secured. Tank buster squad on the way. Looks like Armour Command Truck is moving in for Demolition Jeep, who's definitely ready to escalate the fight one more step. More Panzergrenadiers ready, though Hans is definitely losing men. Recce section moving in, leading the charge. Half-track pulling up to support. And there we go. Brit quickly dead. Mortar half-tech pulling up to support as well. And the stewardess getting repaired. In fact, it's probably going to get over-repaired, meaning of course it can take even more shots than a factory fresh steward. Panzer command almost done. Bridge pulling it, moving in once more for the cutoff point, probably also for the more vulnerable half tracks. We could then be seeing the steward moving in from the rear. We take even further advantage of things. And there we go. Steward moving in from the rear. Could be expecting another canister shot. And Panzergrenadiers actually gets the lieutenant. Excellent. Panzer support, Panzer command up. What shall be out of that? Half track slightly getting away. Panzergrenadiers. Oh, mortar round gets off a nice 2 kills on the Bren section, suppressing them in fact. Armoured car on the way.
We are losing
Missing the steward though, blowing up a part of the fence instead. Less than good for these tank busters. Gewehr 43 is on the way. He could of course also consider some assault rifles.
Attention, the enemy advances.
Getting run off. And there we go, protecting the cut-off point with the Vengeance. At the same time, Wreckage section moving up. Kettenkrad down. Of course, he could try and bombard those chaps over there with the mortar. Apparently decides against it.
Grenadiers have received G43s.
There we go, Gewehr 43. Armoured car soon ready. He's getting ready to call in some headsets as well. And the armoured command track is not setting up. He's in fact shifting about. These armoured command tracks, he's not trying to secure anything here. So quite clearly he's a bit worried about what Hans could do and thus wants to keep everything within range of each other just in case something goes wrong. Lucky section there, taking an awful lot of fire. Panzergrenadiers up there. He tried to slow them down. Yes, indeed, he goes for the slowdown on retreat. We could in fact do it twice since he has 2 squads, but no. Decides against it, though we are seeing a larger force of British infantry moving in. Some mortaring going on here. Oh, the armor car getting buttoned up, but we do see the overcharge ability. Saving the day. Incendiary grenades could also do a trick here. And there we go. Bren gunners burning alive the armored car, adding to the fun. First tank is out. A Cromwell has arrived at the same time, more or less. Hetzer Jagdpanzer arrives, did not fight in Normandy, although at the same time it did actually fight, but that was on the Eastern Front. It was largely more a vehicle of the Eastern Front than the Western Front. Though it generally didn't really serve with Panzer Division, at least not initially. But there we go. Hetzer Jagdpanzer, although initially intended as Sturmgeschütz, but due to jurisdictional problems, it was designated as a Jagdpanzer. Still moving in then, certainly living up to the role of Sturmgeschütz. In fact, the Jagdpanzer 4 was also essentially Sturmgeschütz, and I believe in some cases were actually used as a Sturmgeschütz. Which rather against us more about how the Germans view things. They did not need things that could just blow up tanks. They needed things for a more versatile role set. But there we go. Oh, mortar section got the repairman. Excellent. Stewart moving away as well. Hetzer keeping things nice and tidy for now. Captain over here on the right flank. Panzergrenadiers fighting against a rather swift British advance. Might get forced away. British armour heavily damaged. Might need some more repair sappers, or just the regular sappers to get that job done before Hans decides to push ahead with the Hetzer and finish the job. But there we go, another sapper section ready. Another Cromwell ready. So already the 7th, 11th armour are getting up for some armour. Armour car blasting away at the Brits right there. Kettenkrad ready. And the captain getting spotted, in fact going to run straight through the hornet's nest. Run the gauntlet. Panzergrenadier gets blasted by the Cromwell. Hetzer opens up. Mortar half-track a bit exposed. Takes a few hits from the Cromwells before they pull back. And what do we see? We're actually seeing a Churchill. He's gone Royal Engineers. Churchill AVRE. Probably to try and deal with the Panzergrenadiers, deny them the use of their Panzer checks. And there we go. No! He's going to use it to blow up the reinforcement point. Definitely one way of clearing out the Hun. Let's go look at him. A bit surprising again. It's rather rare you actually see a player go for that. But in this case, Demolition Jeep leads the way with the Churchill tank. Makes up for a small counterattack up here. Note, he's also not really blobbing. In fact, he's making sort of smaller, more compact, yet certainly useful British assaults. While then pushing in with armor from other places. Certainly a good British player. Still they're moving in. Could get off a cancer shot right here on the Panzergrenadiers. Yes, oh, he gets a squad, but sadly he finally loses the Steward after having wreaked so much havoc to German infantry. Bit of a shame, bit of a shame. Quickly repairing the Cromwells, in fact getting the over-repaired, and a Cromwell command tank lining up as well. Captain though, getting hammered, Bren gunners moving in. Hans being slightly on the back foot as usual. Though still the heads is keeping things together. Another push towards the cutoff. Armored car moving in. And at the same time, there we go. 2 Cromwells and the AVRE just in case. Catching the infantry half-track. Of course, note, with this, with the command tank, they actually have an increased rate of fire, amongst other things. Do pull away, although not actually, again, suffering overall large damage, because, again, the over-repairs allows them to absorb more fire. And there we go, another hetzer moving in. Cromwell's arriving, firing away. And now with 2 hetzers opening up on them, they do take a bit more damage. There we go, 1 shot penetrates. Still not enough, not enough. They will have to get away. Now the AVRE is what's holding up things. Another nice hit. Might be seeing a Firefly anytime soon. Red's advancing. Going to lay down some protection of his armor with the British infantry, giving him more time to repair his Cromwell to get them back in the fight. Even 1 fact being sent in. 1 hetzer is actually taking a lot of damage now. Another getting buttoned down. And there we go. AVRE shoots off. Doesn't quite knock out the half-track. Still does something. Panzergrenadiers flying in as Hans' men advance from the distance. Troops getting suppressed, getting mortared, getting burned. Keeping things together for now. But Demolition Jeep has definitely tasted German blood, and he likes it. Possibly even wants to use it in his tea. That sick bastard. Anyways, it's just like moving forward. Lots of damage actually done there. And of course, as long as the Cromwell command tank stays in range of all of this, including the AVRE, of course, it will get the veterancy from all those kills. And of course, you can also get some good hits with that while the command tank is in range. Of course, you can really quickly level that up. That's going to be a large problem for Hans if he's not careful. Troops lining up on the west flank. More expert repair engineers. Normally you see a lot of Piat sappers, but again, that is not what Demolition Jeep does. Instead, he's actually sort of preparing to sort of quickly get his armor back in combat. Getting a 3rd Cromwell out. That's definitely interesting. Again, a rather irregular British player, but that's not bad. That's what we like to see, particularly if he serves as a good example to the rest. A 3rd hetzer arrives. More mortar fire, stopping up the assault right there. Oh, mines actually, but Teller mines. And of course preparing himself for any sort of British assault, which is good. And he's even over-repairing the Cromwell command tank. Lovely. AVRE advancing. Target. Reinforcement point. Codenamed House of Fun. And there we go. Oh, it flew too high. Oh, Oh no, is that even possible? Oh well. Hetzer's advancing. Churchill taking an awful lot of damage from the Hetzers in the process. Troops enforcing. And there we go, Hans pushing forward. 3 Hetzers, 2 squads with Panzergrenadiers. Hetzer's also taking a lot of damage. In fact, looks like he's focusing one down. And there we go. Petard round knocked out several Panzergrenadiers. He could, in fact, push forward the Cromwell. Captain dead for DemolitionJeep. Interesting enough, he's not pushing the charge. I think he actually does have a good chance here of knocking out several Hetzers. But for some reason, DemolitionJeep wants to actually over-repair. But there we go. He slowly advances. Come on, there's a good chance here of knocking out several Hetzers. They're heavily damaged. And there we go, a squad of Panzergrenadiers suffers heavily. Hetzers pulling back further and further. Reinforcement point almost down. And the advance of DemolitionJeep seems to have lost all steam. And there we go, knocking out the reinforcement point. The 11th Armoured is definitely doing a lot of damage, although suffering a bit in the infantry department. A casualty cleaning station could be a nice choice. In fact, it does have one. So good, good. And there we go, the Cromwell's pushing forward. Command tank might want Shinobi to attach to one of them. Hetzers blasting away, although again, they are a bit damaged. Come on. Command tank. Aid. AVRE also ready. Bit of mortar fire. Doing his best to, of course, quickly repair those Hetzers. Not a bad idea, and of course the fact that the DemolitionJeep is not pushing forward as swiftly as it can is facilitating this. Firefly finally on the way. Avery taking a bit of nasty damage there from the Hetzer. But basically made to clear out any sort of obstacles that might be found. Half-tack suffering a bit, Hetzer suffering a bit, Cromwell still not advancing. Apparently having a bit of tea time right there, allowing in fact Hans to put in several rounds. And there we go, infantry sections getting blasted. Firefly though is ready. Could this be what Symbiosis is hoping for? Lots of fire from the Hetzers, bombarding just away. Dual Panzerjech upgrades now available for the Panzergrenadiers. Giving them 2 Panzerjechs. Cromwell taking a nasty bit of damage. Firefly arriving, just what the doctor ordered. Not the German doctor, of course. And there go Panzergrenadiers advancing. They could be targets very quickly of the Cromwells. Avery moving in. And there we go, the Hetzers are now quickly run off, what with the Firefly proving to be quite the problem. Of course, Hans could consider getting the Panzerjäger command upgrade and actually getting some Martyrs out to provide some heavier firepower to sort of back up the Hetzers. And there we go, armored push. Hetzer getting blasted a bit. Another Hetzer arriving, that's 4 Hetzers. And, oh! Petard round who knocks out 3 Panzergrenadiers, sending at least 1 squad away. Hetzer's moving in, trying to get some soft, nice targets, but exposing itself to not a lot of fire in the process. Gun damaged. That would be the machine gun on top, the remotely controlled one. More Hetzers moving in, one with defensive veterancy. Will it be enough? Sapper's quick to repair. Panzergrenadiers quick to get blasted. Still no veterancy for the command tank. So far, no real any of the Hetzers have been knocked out. Churchill luring them out. More points being captured, and let's return to Hans and the 12th SS, holding the line with numerous Jagdpanzer force. Oh, not Jagdpanzer force, but Hetzers. Although, I mean, technically, normally they were supposed to have a company, if not a battalion, of these Jagdpanzer force. So let's just pretend the Hetzers are that, and there we go, another push. Churchill takes most of the fire, the Hetzer follows up. I mean the Firefly. Oh, keep messing things up. Definitely my fault. And Petard doesn't really do much. Hetzer suffering a bit. Swift move up by the Panzergrenadiers, gets a nice hit on the Firefly. Another Hetzer moves in and moves away. 11th Armour holding the centre with in fact a nice armoured force. Quite the resilient force, in fact he's now going hull down to make it even more difficult for Hans to take the position. Again a bit rare. Cromwell's now advancing. Bit interesting to do that. And realises of course he's stuck in the Firefly a bit too far away to actually help. Probably has to move a bit further forwards. Going for the cut-off point of Hans.
The enemy is seizing our territory.
Sapper suffering on the right flank. Hetzer's getting blasted. 15 kills in the mortar half-track. And something died. Oh dear, he actually lost a Hetzer. Finally, Hans did lose one, which is definitely going to hurt his cause. Lots of Panzergrenadiers connect with the AVRE. It's doing what they can against the Cromwells. And someone trying to be clever, of course, masking his name behind a lot of numbers. Clearly one not worthy of notice. Hetzer's advancing, trying to get that AVRE. If he can succeed, that of course could be a small boon. Hetzer's advancing from the front. Cromwell, in fact, have pulled back for repairs. Put alarm, and there we go. AVRE down. Now he could try and knock out the Firefly. Mortar rounds get several sappers. It's now just to focus it down. Another Firefly out. Looks like he lost something else. Come on, just focus that Firefly down. Cromwell still moving in from the flank, although with engine damage, they hit a Tellermine. Oh dear, so close. Nicely done right there by Hans. Another, though, Hetzer goes down. Veteran G1 for the command tank. Needs to turn about the Hetzer. Otherwise, of course, he's just going to get pummeled to death from the flank. Destroyed engine and main gun destroyed at one of the Cromwells. Another Firefly advances. Another Hetzer out of control. Panzergrenadiers advancing with a firestorm of Panzers as well. Several Cromwells out of control, but several Panzergrenadiers also going down. And as soon as that reaches Veterancy 2, it's going to be that much tougher. And there we go. Veterancy 2 on the command tank, increasing the rate of fire of the Panzers even further, of course, giving some great bonuses to the Firefly. And another Churchill actually advances. Another AVRE, perhaps a Crocodile at this stage, might have been a bit more of a service. The tart round doesn't quite knock out anything. Panzergrenadiers flies. Firefly keeps firing away. Hans holding on rather desperately.
The enemy is seizing our territory.
As the 11th Armoured keeps pushing. Whoops, sorry. And again, Mr. Not Worth Bothering With. Making up some nonsense. Of course, ignoring all the Cromwells, of course, could tear through all of those Panzers as he advances, in particular with the Veteran 2. And there we go, another infantry squad down. Repairing as much as he can, although suffering to the fire due to the incendiary mortar rounds. So might want to retreat.
Moving in superiority once again.
Armoured car running about. And the Panzergrenadiers once more advancing forwards. Panzers let loose, but not really doing much. And this assault with the armoured car turned very wrong, suffering brutally. Poor, poor Hans. Of course, question is, what shall he do? He's a bit penned in. Doesn't really have access to a lot of resources left. Of course, he can always call in more heads, and looks like Demolition Jeep is advancing once more in the name of King George. Might want to keep the command tank within range, knocking out the Rex to ensure that Hans does not recover. More tank busters on the way. And another push by the headsers, but they are rather heavily damaged. Tank Panzergrenadiers moving in, probably the tank busters partly. And another assault stopped right there. Infantry half-tank moving in to stop the recce section in the left. Firefly not really taking a lot of damage from the hetzer. And another hetzer down. We might in fact see Veterans free soon for that one. The Cromwell command tank that is. And another Panzergrenadier down. This is definitely not working out for Hans or the 12th SS. Panzergrenadiers are dying. Lots of tank destroyers have gone up in smoke and flames. Another push, but again they do lack the anti-infantry weapons, and the mortar infantry half-track actually takes a lot of damage right there. Still does have the mortar half-track to bombard any British infantry found. Losing victory points, he's got none. Demolition Jeep has 2, he can't quite reach the last one. As Hans can still project enough force to make that a painful experience if Demolition Jeep does that. Though he is now getting more Cromwells. Of course, you could also consider getting some emplacements. Sort of try and protect this. Vet free command tank. Definitely someone's feeling pleased with himself. And in response gets an incendiary round. Could be that Hans is perhaps a bit unhappy. What can I do? Flak. Well, I mean, he can't get a flak, of course. He's gone tank destroyer. That ought to be, you know, something aware for Demolition Jeep. Of course, he might be teasing. Moving up here, going to knock out that flak feeling with Piets, it looks like. Hans responds, because you go armor. So definitely a few differences in opinion.
Squad is ready for order.
Of course, if Hans could get this, he might still turn things around. And in fact, considering the fact that Demolition Jeep just mentioned it, he's not really doing a lot to just sort of really defend it. I mean, the flank here is pretty open to Panzergrenadiers. There's no mines at all. No defenses. In fact, Demolition Jeep really hasn't bothered with mines at all. And there we go, another hetzer moving in. Moving in on the base. Tank busters, Panzergrenadiers, hetzers moving in. This is it. This is it. Either Hans makes it or he breaks his own force. And there we go. Command tank exposed. Of course, can absorb a lot of damage again due to going hull down. Despite all those Panzers flying at it. Oh, but there we go, down to less than half health. Cromwell's moving in. Heads are taking damage. Still, and there we go. Command tank is down. Veterans up for his units. Half tank's taking rather nasty amounts of damage. Veterans 3 almost down. Panzer is retreating right through it. So that all of a sudden limits Demolition Jeep's armor a bit, since of course now they don't receive any bonuses at all, making them much easier to deal with for Hans. In fact, let's go return to Demolition Jeep. What should his response be? A fresh command tank or what? AVRE. Oh, that didn't quite work out. In fact, he might lose that AVRE to the Hetzers. Moving in to try and flank it, I imagine. Of course, all those tank busters trying to knock it out. In fact, veterans see 3 tank busters. And there we go. Churchill kaput. And in fact, slight mistake here by Demolition Jeep. Oh, it's a bit exposed like that. Heads though getting flanked. And there we go, forced to abandon. But the Panzergrenadiers, of course, now that it is no longer hold down, have a much easier time dealing with it. Heads are out of control. Cromwell's still the next target. And a main gun destroyed. Perhaps he should really have considered perhaps something to back up that. Perhaps a machine gun emplacement or a Bofors. They would also have benefited from the Royal Engineers, of course, would be even tougher as well. So there might have been something there in that thinking. Of course, that is just my opinion, and I'm sure Demolition Jeep has his reasons for not doing so. But certainly taking a lot of losses now. Getting pushed back a bit vengefully. And a Jagdpanther now arrives. Which also largely, in fact, served on the Western Front. It was only in the last few months of the war that actually appeared on the Eastern Front to fight against the Soviets. And there we go, Jagdpanther charges forwards. A Cromwell down again. In fact, he's down to 1 Cromwell having started out with so many. And the Jagdpanther gets the lieutenant. That's a nice first kill. Though again, using his numerous expert repairmen to quickly put together that Cromwell in good shape. But again, holding up on the cut-off points. Infantry moving in from the flank. Taking up cover behind the remains of the hold down Cromwell.
Our supply lines are being
and getting mortared. In fact, that mortar half-tank is still there with 31 kills. That's definitely nice. Hans is not out of the woods, but Demolition Jeep is definitely not in that strong position he was in earlier, which definitely is giving Hans a much better chance of actually winning this fight, but it has to be quick. He's running out of victory points. Quickly. And he doesn't have much time. And there we go. The Hetzer is caught off guard on its right flank. Could get buttoned down, but it doesn't happen. And another Firefly ready, another lieutenant.
We're losing a munition sector.
Panzergrenadiers run off. And Kettenkrad taking a bit of damage as all expert repair sappers are moving in for the cutoff point. Perhaps they should have been part of a larger fold. Instead, they are now exposed. And mortar round gets them all. Oh, that vicious mortar. 35 kills. Definitely taking a toll on the British infantry.
Trying to take a victory point.
Going for the victory point. And Cromwell misses. And there we go, Jagdpanther pushing in. Panzergrenadiers arriving as well. Still no mines. And in fact, I mean, this is actually quite inexplicable. He has 1,000 munitions. He could have laid down an arseload of mines. I mean, he could practically lay down an entire minefield. He had so many munitions. And he had the sappers forward. He had 3 squads of sappers. He could easily have laid down a lot of mines to really mess up Hans' advance.
An
My
ammo
goodness.
storage facility is being overrun.
Mortar round again. That Panther keeps firing with its high velocity 88mm gun. Granted, in the Eastern Front they did have the Elephant, originally known as the Ferdinand, after its Crater Ferdinand Porsche. Although only 90 of those were made. A lot more were made of the Jagdpanzers, although I believe those were still in the hundreds. Still, powerful vehicle. Certainly also deadly to its opponents. Heads are getting repaired.
They're down to 50 points.
As
for the Jagdpanzers, of course, some might want to see that actually only really fought on the Western Front. In fact, it only sort of fight took on initially was Nordwind, which again is about right up to 1945 actually. So again, not really a vehicle which saw a lot of action. Again, pretty much only on the Western Front, from what I know. And the recce section getting handed down by the Hetzer. Defensive efficiency 2 going for cut-off point, but no, instead moving forwards. Only a Cromwell to stop it. In fact, he lost one Firefly, so now he's forced to get another one.
Now a secured sector under attack.
Field support track, in fact, also over-repaired. Quite interesting. Of course, now Panzergrenadiers. Oh, sappers get blasted. Hetzer gets off a nice high explosive round, killing 2. Repairing the field support truck. And there we go, flanking in, trying to hit the Jagdpanther. Though half-tracks are advancing. In fact, Hans got a new infantry half-track out. That's pretty rare. Kettenkrad down. Panzergrenadiers getting gunned down. Hetzer, in fact, could risk getting cut off from the rest of the force and boxed in, and thus be dealt with in a much more safe manner. But no, looks like the Jagdpanther does manage to escape. As the Hetzer moves in to draw the attention of the Firefly, and in fact get spotted, and it could be this Hetzer sacrificing itself so the Jagdpanther can escape. Mortar, though, keeps bombarding, and no, the Jagdpanther arrives from behind. Now, Cromwell moves up. Panzergrenadiers scored down. 44 points left for Hans. Sappers getting blasted. Jagdpanther ignoring the Bren gunners, going in for the Firefly. Going to light that on fire. Now the Hetzer's pushing forward as well, also ignoring the sappers. No one pays attention to those anymore. And there we go, Firefly out of control. Cromwell next. And there we go, Cromwell down. Rather brutal armoured slaughter of the 11th Armoured.
Sector under attack.
Field support truck getting blasted once more.
Sector under attack.
Both assault guns, if you will, have defensive veterans. In fact, even the Jagdpanther's got a bit now.
Reporting a petrol dump under attack.
Cromwell on alert.
Ooh, nice incendiary round. Unless, of course, you know, his opponent moves away from it. Jagdpanther pulling away. Close to half health. Hetzer getting repaired. British advancing. Now lots of Piats. If only he'd laid down some mines earlier, I think again that Hans would have been in a lot more trouble. Mortar rounds keep landing, killing Brits. Though the Hetzer took an awful beating.
HQ command truck is ready for action, sir.
And Hans has stabilized things. He's got both victory points again. But that is about what he's got. He's even got some Panzergrenadiers with assault rifles now. He's trying to help out with the infantry. What's he doing with that Cromwell? He's apparently trying to blow up a hedge in the Bocage, and it's straight advance at the victory point without having to go through here or here. Perhaps was I'm not sure really what he could be doing. Instead getting him more Cromwells. And another push, Cromwell moving in. Facing the heads. Oh, and an awful lot of Panzers. Oh, most of them actually miss. Assault weapons tearing into the Brits, and the half tech goes down. The infantry half tech, I suspect. At least I hope. Yes, indeed. Jagdpanther and Hetzer continue their assault. Panzergrenadiers pushing up in support. Field support truck going down. Cromwell could be going down. And there we go, the field support actually goes down. Armoured on the flank facing off against the Cromwell, but with barely any health left on that. Let's return to Helping Hands. And another Hetzer arrives. Recce section moving in. Infantry sections getting murdered. Panzergrenadiers caught in the muck, but they continue pushing on. The assault must go forth. More Cromwells keep pouring in, but so does a Hetzer from the far flank. A rather last desperate stand by the Brits as the Germans push in. Ever closer. Hetzer getting pelted, caught on his own without infantry support. Not the way it should be done. Panzergrenadiers reinforcing back at base. A bit of quiet, let's speed this up. Crates getting shattered. I'm still waiting before going in for that final assault. Mortar half tech getting ready. Counter attack by AsiiDemolitionJeep. Getting shot up. More mortar rounds that don't quite hit. And there we go. Hetzer and Jagdpanther moving up from behind. Cromwell's getting ready for one last push. As the noose tightens and the Panzergrenadiers move in again. Equipped to the teeth with Panzergrenadiers. Armed to the teeth. And the Cromwells have a target in sight. Hetzer damaged engine, heavily damaged. Could go down. Mortar rounds. Assault rifles. Cromwell down. The Hetzer survives. Two Cromwells down. Headquarters command truck almost down, in fact, as well. And there we go, the headquarters is gone. 11th Armoured is operating in the blind now. Barely any units left. Veteran T2 for the Jagdpanther. Incendiary grenades. Heavy damage still on that. Yeah. Oh, it goes out of control. The Veteran T3 Hetzer goes out of control. Oh, how unfortunate. Going for that armor command track as well. And the Cromwell moves in. GG. GG from Hans. Capital letters. Mortar half-track wins the game as usual. Well, I could also argue that a lack of mines win the game as usual. That's how you, Mr. Demolition Jeep, possibly bothered with expending some of those thousands of munitions on mines to cover this flank, possibly even like... Whoops, headset fell off, my pardons. But I mean, also bother perhaps, with laying down some mines here or here, sort of so something slowed down in advance in case you're forced to retreat. I mean, you could actually done a lot of damage. You could really have forced, Hans to bleed out as he tried to attack, as he tried to advance, and then of course was slowed down, making an easy target. I mean, again, 1,000 munitions, mines. If you don't know what to spend munitions on, spend it on mines. Good tip right there. So, there you go. Do hope you enjoyed this game. Rather close. I mean, Demolition Jeep definitely went for a strong strategy. Hans definitely had some problems, even with hetzers and whatnot. Although, again, in the end, the lack of mines and the fact that he left his command tank undefended allowed for a swift counterattack, which rather opened up the way for victory in the end. So, again, also be cautious the bridge about your command tanks. Lay them down, so of course there's something to protect them. Although, it's been good use of doctrine, otherwise not what we usually see. Definitely a bit original there. So there you go. Do hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends? And if you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own? This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.